Julie Preston, aka Mistress Dita. She's been I'm going to struggle with this word, I've said this several times. She's a dominatrix since she left her job at Hull Prison nearly 10 years ago. Is that accurate?
It's true.
And has become a well-known name in Hull in the process. She's a rebel in her own right, and it was during her time at Hull Prison where she forged an unlikely relationship with the infamous then Charles Bronson, now Charles Salvador. And like Bronson, she's no stranger to aggro, whether it's trolling her neighbours on Facebook or police bashing down their door after reports of her running a brothel.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
She's a local star, a budding star of the small screen. Recently featured on Channel 5's The Sex Business. She's also an outspoken homeless rights activist. Get your ball gags on and your dog collars around your necks and put it up for Julie Preston, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I love that you're blowing smoke up my ass.
What can I do?
That's great.
It's what you used to, right?
Yes.
So, how would you rate my intro, 1 to 10?
I friggin' loved it.
Be honest.
50 billion. I
50
loved
billion.
It. Yeah.
Cheers,
Billion.
mate. Spot on.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So we like to start our podcast with our guest, by asking them, how did we meet? From your perspective, or how did you maybe become aware of blood sugar?
Okay. Well, first of all, I was scratching through your knicker drawers well before I even realised it was you, because I was in your house.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
of course.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
But I didn't realise it was you. And I was telling your missus, I said, oh God, I'm like the village witch. The people on Vicky Doc don't like me because I'm a dominatrix. And she was like, have you seen my partner? He's like a big crazy rasta. And I'm like, no. I said, on the village? And she's like, yeah. And then when I met you, he was like, do I know you? And I'm like, no, I don't think you do. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen your undercrackers, yes.
She's seen them. She's rummaged through.
I've seen his budgie smugglers
So
on the line.
what was you rummaging through for again? What was that all about?
Clothes for the homeless.
Clothes for the homeless.
Yeah, clothes for us, needy in general. Skin on the Todd, no undercrackers, homeless.
Yeah.
And your lovely missus gave me loads of stuff.
So my missus goes, yeah, this is Dominatrix on Vicky Doc, and she came around earlier to get some stuff for the home. What did you say? There's a what, sorry? You said Dominatrix on Vicky Doc. Yeah, there's a Dominatrix. She lives down there on Vicky Doc. She's proper cool, right? She's always like going to old people on Facebook and just like, and then she starts reading me out statuses and stuff. So like, she created this like mythological sort of like rebellious like character, and then I think I seen you a couple of times in Asda or whatever, and I was
doing
like,
my big shop.
Yeah, doing your big shop, classic, big shop, big life. And I'm like, is that her? Is that her? And then when we met so that was our We Love Hate You.
Yeah, the apartment,
Right.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So should we talk about that then?
Yeah. In conjunction with the comedy gig as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And,
raising money for Gambia.
Yeah, so we had you lot in the house and you put on a brilliant gig on the rooftop and it was ace and amazing food and amazing beautiful humans and loads of music and laughter, and it was frigging brilliant, absolutely ace. And then and my friend Kenny said we'll give you a night to auction off to help with your cause.
That's right.
And yeah, long story
And a little
short,
party.
you got there, didn't you?
We did indeed,
there,
thanks to you lot.
No, well, most of all was behind you, which it warms your heart, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
It's
Cheers all.
no, it's
Appreciate you.
ace.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And also, where you gave us a little gift, right? Can I just grab it, actually? That is an official Charles Salvador, original drawing from his prison cell, right?
It is, yeah. Rolf, it's not even a cell, it's a cage.
Is it?
It's a cage of which is allowed out 1 hour a day.
Still?
You wouldn't be able to do that to a dog, would you?
Wow.
It's
And it's still like that now.
It's still like it now. It's on its arse, and people go on demos and appeal and go to 10 Downing Street. I've written to Her Majesty.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. It's, for me, I think it's like legalised revenge. Because now he wants to come out, the prison service are going, jog on.
Yeah.
And what's the big risk? Why have they got to keep him?
Well,
like
they
that?
say for their safety, but I think having worked in jails, because he is so notorious, there'd probably be a lot of younger element that might want to knock him out. Have a little rumble with Charlie, or do you know what I mean? I get that they maybe want to keep him in seg, but to be allowed out an hour a day.
Yeah.
No telly, no radio. So obviously that's why he turned back in the day to his art. Because that must be some sort of escape for him.
Yeah, to get out system.
Yeah, but again, what a lot of people don't realise is some of this stuff that he sends, obviously he's been to Hull, he's been in Hull's finest 5-star hotel, up Hedden Road.
That's where you met?
Yeah, that's where I was, yeah. And he doesn't really got any major loyalty to Hull, he doesn't need to give a shit.
Yeah.
But that kid sends me artwork, which if you look on eBay and other sites, it goes for hundreds.
Yeah.
People go mad over it.
Yeah.
He sends it and he goes, Jules, auction it off, do your Facebook auction things and put people up in hotels. Go get them sleeping bags, get them tents.
Yeah.
And again, people don't see that, but he don't need to give a shit, but he does. So like, max respect to the kid.
Charlie Bronson, and we'll get
Yeah.
we'll get a bit more into that a bit further in the podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't want to rush into that before we get into, well, I think what we can all agree is the good stuff. All right, it's the reason we've got you in. All right.
To talk about bollocks.
We want to talk about, quite literally, bollocks, and then
yeah.
those bollocks getting stamped on. So,
Yeah.
can we start with what inspired you to follow this career path?
Okay, well, when I was in prisons, obviously on the right side of the bars, whatever job I've ever done, I've always been a gaffer, right? I've always had to be the manager because I'm just a bossy Aryan.
Yeah.
So whatever job I've had, teaching, all sorts, gadget shop back in the day, got to be the boss. So I went into jails, worked my way up, got promotion. I was a gaffer in the education department.
Yeah.
But I was still always working for a knob jockey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get them, don't you?
Yeah, you can't escape
Yeah,
them.
it doesn't matter how high up you are, there's always somebody,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was constantly, for 5 or 6 odd years, different jails in Yorkshire and Number, I was constantly in the Gov's office, more than the Gov. Jules, I've had another complaint.
Yeah.
Jules, and it wasn't from the lads on the wing, it was the staff, yeah? Because I was civvy, they were, obviously officers, and there's a bit of a divide anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
What's a civvy and what's an officer?
Okay, so I was plain clothes. I do my 9 to 5, sort the lads out. They're prison officers, so they do the shifts. They're banging them up. They're discipline. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got nurses who are civilians, and you've got
I'm with you.
education and housing people and all that sort of stuff. So I'm getting all these complaints, and it's things like Jules was seen laughing on D-wing with the lads. Jules' t-shirt's a bit too tight. Jules' boobs are too big. And it's all shit like that.
Yeah,
It wasn't, Julie's like bringing in crack up a butthole and phones and not Nokia 10, none of that.
Yeah.
So I was just getting more and more fed up, and I thought, do you know what, I'm 40. What job can I do, right, where I can work for myself? I'll be the best boss I've ever had because I'm frigging great.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, what job can I do? So I only put about a couple of weeks thought into it, and I thought, what will probably last me forever should I choose to go into it? One of them, I thought of the food industry, because we cannot live without food. Yeah? But everybody will always find money for food.
Yeah.
I can't cook, and there ain't a big markup on it, so I sacked that one off. The obvious one to me, because in jails and when I used to teach and everything, everybody always used to say, oh, you look like Miss Whiplash. Oh, Miss, you look like, do you know what I mean? So I kind of had the image already, and I thought, I wasn't into the scene, I wasn't into BDSM, I didn't do fetish nights, I kind of go home and drink some White Lightning and watch Emmerdale Farm. That's about as rock and roll as it got.
Yeah.
But I thought, I could do this dominatrix shit. Stood there with my hands on my hips in a catsuit, being a bossy, which is what I am already, but I'll just have the get up.
Yeah.
So I literally put, a couple of weeks thought into it. I thought, right, I'm going to frigging do it. Put my notice in. Went on a website, got my profile on there, and I literally, within a couple of weeks, got my first booking, and it was some dude off Vicky Doc, wanted pissing on, and ball stamping on, and all the rest of it. And because it kind of happened all so quick, I didn't really get nervous. I just did it, and I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, 100 quid an hour, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But then obviously, as time's gone on, I've stuck at it, so 10 years. Sometimes people will go, oh, do you do blah, blah, blah? And I've got to bleed and Google it. Because I'm not into the scene. I do you know what I mean? I don't know what half this stuff is.
Yeah.
So I've kind of really got by on a wing and a prayer
Yeah.
with certain things. But I'm good at it because I'm into all the theatrics of it all.
Right.
And setting the scene and having nice moody lighting and Marilyn Manson in the background. And do you know what I mean?
So do you have like a specific voice that you use?
Yes, I do. So I don't talk Hessel Road, and I don't swear, and I don't shout. So I have to come across quite sort of eloquent and in control. You
Yeah.
see. So I mean, so the rest is history. It's been a blast because I've met, I've seen, I've done, I've tasted, I've been. It's took me all over the world. But then there's been sides to it where, because all is what it is, there isn't much money here.
Yeah.
I literally, I'm sat and I'm on my car, everywhere, all Daily Mail, national, international, business cards, phone boxes in train station. And there's sometimes the phone still won't ring.
Yeah.
And I'm self-employed, and I'm a single, so it's just my dollar that I've got to try and get in.
Yeah.
Registered with HMRC and All City Council, so it's all legitimate.
Yeah.
But if money don't come in, I'm knackered.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of right. I've got a mortgage, so
And this is your full-time job.
Yeah. So that is kind of as glamorous as it can be, and then as shit as it can be as well.
Yeah. So some misconceptions then about your line of work, because I was reading, like I said in the intro, about how police coming round, people reporting, they think it's a brothel. Peter Levy was making you out to be a prostitute, certain things like that. Now, I think a lot of people, like, straight off the bat, would assume those sorts of things because it's not something that people know that much about, which is kind of interesting, like with you being on the scene, being on Instagram. Like, we all follow you on Instagram, right? So, we'll be scrolling.
We've all seen me bum hole.
We've all seen your bum.
And my fallopian tube.
We've seen it all.
Out there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was in a restaurant the other day, just scrolling through
and
my
flange
Instagram. Flange popped up. Geezer behind me was just like, and just like walked off.
And that's my
not safe for work. Yeah, so misconceptions that people will have is that it's like, so it's part of the sex industry.
I am in the sex industry.
Right.
I have dom colleagues who don't like to be associated with it.
Right.
But I am in the sex industry because it is what it is. And we're all part of that same thing. Some of us just offer different services, you know what I mean, under that umbrella.
So it's sexual for the participant.
Well, not necessarily in my line of work, because if you want to be aroused and you want a happy ending, you go to an escort.
Right.
Yeah, because you know what you're going to get with them.
Okay.
You get the girlfriend experience.
Right.
If you want your balls gorilla glowing to the floorboards, that's not a sexual thing. It's a fetish, and it's a niche that they want to scratch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you were saying about the dog walking, and it's a fantasy that they'll kind of want to carry out. So that the hardcore stuff isn't, they're not really coming for a nice time, are they? Cause, yeah.
So
they're going out with me balls as their balls, and I've got them as my earrings.
So when they leave, like, are they like, do they look relieved, or is it like?
It depends what they've had. Some of them just look like they need a defib or paramedic or something. Depends on what their session was.
Sure.
But yeah, when you said about the misconceptions, like I said, it's a bit of a touchy subject because people are like, I don't want to be associated with. I am in the sex industry and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's not a service I offer because I'd be shit at it unless it was Tom Hardy, and then I'd be absolutely brilliant.
which we'll get to.
Exactly.
Charles Bronson.
So I just decided not to do that because that wouldn't be my strength.
Yeah.
But my strength is bossing people about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's why I went into that. I don't give a shit if people think I sell sex, call me a prostitute, an escort, a street worker, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because if I did, I'd be still really proud to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're providing a bloody brilliant service.
Yeah.
And having worked in jails with the wrong uns,
Yeah.
there are worse things you can be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've worked with them.
yeah.
So if, because I'm ballsy and all my family know what I do and my mates, if I was, selling my flange, it'd be all over my car. And I'd be real proud. I'd be show off like I am now.
Get your flange.
Yes. Call this number to see my flange.
So,
but I would, and it won't bother me. But there's so much, not hatred, but there's a real lot of shit and stigma surrounding ladies or men who sell the sex, sell sex.
Yeah.
It's kind of like classed as cheap, and you can see why they go underground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And
yeah.
they don't tell the partners, they don't tell the pals, or And
do you think it's
sad.
more of a British thing?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Because in other countries they're a bit more laid back.
I mean,
about that, aren't
I love England, and Hull's my favourite place on earth, but it's like Middle Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get stared at because of tattoo.
Yeah,
It's like it's
yeah,
Hull.
yeah.
Tattoo, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
We're a very, very difficult bunch of people to try and get through to.
But I feel like you kind of like that. Because there's a challenge to it, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, you like a good scrap.
And I've scrapped with everybody in Hull. I've took them all on my toe.
Yeah,
I've gone
yeah.
toe to toe with the entire population of Hull.
We've seen it.
And I've won.
And wasn't you one of Hull Daily Mail's top 50 Sexy Hull people.
Yeah, but-
Twice running.
But do you know the second time?
No,
I
good
come
sugar.
down a slot the second time.
Did you?
Do you know beat me to it?
Not John Prescott.
Peter Levy.
Did he?
He got higher than me.
What, a sexist?
Sexy. Yeah, I'm going down.
Yeah.
Must be because I'm older than one of the menopause. Like that. Yeah, get rid of it. And Melissa Reid beat me as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
No, you should get Melissa Reid.
We was thinking maybe of doing that, you know.
Yeah, you
Just
should
hear about
do.
the mad tale. We
Oh,
crossed paths with her briefly, didn't we?
Yeah, there'll be some stories there for sure. And again, you know, she's very thick-skinned, which you've got to be, haven't you?
Yeah,
to put yourself
absolutely.
out there.
We had a robot chat with her, actually, didn't we?
When we were going to help her get to Mars.
Yeah,
that's how we
right.
met her. When she was trying to go to Mars.
Yeah.
But she's won the lottery now, so
Yeah,
it's all great.
so she-
Yeah. Don't need Mars anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, right? Because even though it's not like mad, crazy sex stuff, yeah, it's still pretty mad. Do you think?
I really
as the person
do.
doing it?
I really do, because I would not pay you to kick me in the Flangelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I just won't do that
Yeah,
ever in a
yeah.
lifetime, and I don't get it. I've got ink, I've got piercings, but I'm shit with pain, and I don't get that.
Yeah.
But what I do get is some people like that, and it is like I said, it's a fetish.
But what's-
We've all got something that we like.
Why do you think they want, like, what? To the point,
Well-
I can understand you thinking, like, this might be quite cool to do this. But then to sort of, like, actively seek it out and then go and pay, like, someone to do it.
Well,
What do you think drives that?
I think it definitely comes from something from childhood, if not a bit later in the life, because
Right.
we're all kind of influenced into our likes and dislikes around that age.
Yeah, yeah.
And for example, the older boys that come, they're like over the knee spanking. It's like a teacher naughty boy scenario. I
Right.
get that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they would say. Because I'm not really in a position to sit down and have a conflap afterwards and go, where does this come from? Because it's not my job. I'm like, jog on, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
up sort of thing. So, but a couple who do talk about it, they say, they kind of liked the fact they were being disciplined at school by the teacher in stockings and...
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
kind of get that, but some of the other stuff like
Like the
adult
stamping on balls and
babies,
stuff.
ball busting.
Adult babies?
Yeah, bloodletting, chloroforming. It's got to come from somewhere. It's not something you wake up one morning and think, oh, I wonder what it's like to have
Yeah.
your bollocks stamped on.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it comes from somewhere, doesn't it?
So chloroforming, like what they do in the movies, right? Over the face, makes them pass out. And so you actually do that to
Yeah,
people?
it's a thing.
And is it as quick as it looks in the movies?
Yeah, it depends on what sort of stuff you get. I get mine off eBay, but
Yeah.
again, with that type of thing, it is. But I mean, but the basic stuff starts with them poppers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some more poppers, and then
Yeah.
I get, and then they're like 2 weeks, so I'll get some from Germany.
Yeah.
You can't get here, and the amyl nitrate, and then obviously up to chloroform. But I've got to get what people don't realise. Well, I've got to do risk assessments for everything I do.
Right.
Which sounds really boring.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but you know,
Yeah,
somebody
it's a
might not
business,
wake
it's a
up.
service, yeah.
But with things like with chemicals, I've got to get all the cost data sheets, I've got to do the risk assessments, I've got to have all the right PPE, and it's just, you know, it's not just something that I think, oh, let's just fucking try that and just see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of prep into it, you know what I mean?
Chloroform, it seems like it would end quite quickly for someone who comes round and wants that.
Yeah, but again, I think it's the overpowerment. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're being overpowered by a strong female. But why? I don't know why you would pay someone just to spend all of it asleep.
So you do it, and then do they wake up and think like, oh, I'm off?
Yeah, I'm just like sat filing my nails, like, do you know what I mean? But they're not. They're
What,
not
and then they
getting
go, you
anything
do
out
it
of the
again?
session. Depends how long they book for.
Yeah.
Depends how long they book for, yeah.
Oh, so they would pay, say, like
I'll
4
book- I'll book
hours
an hour.
and be asleep. For
I
a
wouldn't
chunk
do
of it.
a chloroform session for 4 hours because I think that's too much intake. But me personally,
Yeah.
I would judge that.
Yeah.
But if people pay by, it's not the service, they pay by the time.
Sure.
So half an hour, 2 hours.
So how much? So how much is it then?
I'm 120 an hour,
Right.
which is frigging great,
It's
and then
fucking well, isn't
80
it?
for half an hour.
Yeah.
I've only put on my prices at once in sort of 10 years when I'm in Hull because it's
Yeah.
not a very affluent place. But if I go to the States, which I'm going to shortly, $500 an hour,
Wow.
you can kind of pretty much command it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
when you go
Yeah.
somewhere like that.
And is all that already planned?
Yeah.
You've got loads of clients. lined
Yeah,
up?
I have to obviously do a lot of planning before I go because otherwise I'm going to be in minus figures. So all the information goes on Twitter. my Facebook, Instagram, my website.
Yeah.
I join American websites when I go.
Sure.
Like sort of Backpage and Eros and all stuff like that. And I just have my ads on, and then I take bookings and I get deposits, and then I go. But doing it over the years as well, I've got some really good contacts, because when I work in Vegas, one of my customers just one time, I had a couple of hour booking, and he wanted his back door smashing in, and which I did. And he said, I'm the CEO of the Hard Rock on the Strip. Next time you come, I'll put you up in a suite. So boom. So now for do Vegas, he's got me a suite. And I've got drivers over there, slaves. When I'll meet you from the airport, Mistress, they drive me around. So it kind of builds up over time.
So
people who pay for flights, people who give me spends.
Are you in character then when they pick you up?
Yeah, you've kind of got to be, because otherwise it's like you mates, and you can be mates when you're escorts, because I say I've got friends in the game, and they're like real nicey nice with them, like the girlfriend experience it's called. I can't be. Yeah. You know, I've got to be.
And so
that's crazy.
So you literally like, you did say smashing back doors in?
Yes, I did. Am I allowed to say that on the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
You can say whatever you want.
With a strap on?
Yes, but to be honest, he was very experienced in that, so mine wasn't even big enough. I could have fit my head up there, to be fair. It was huge,
really?
but that was his thing.
Wow.
And I'm like saying.
Have you ever just thought, like, what have I just done to someone?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I snigger. When they can't see me, I snigger, and I'm like, because you know, I'm really soft in real life, but sometimes I'll open the door and they'll fall to the knees. And I feel like going, oh, get up, you silly, get what you do. But I can't. I'm like, why are you down there? Lick the dog shit off them shoes. So I've kind of got to make the most of it, but I feel really bad for them. And sometimes I do giggle and I'm like, oh.
Do they want to lick, like, dog shit?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that,
It's just,
okay.
it's
So you purposely go
lick
outside
the pistons. I don't put dog shit on shoes, but it's that whole, or like mud, or lick the pistons off my boots.
And they'll just do it?
Yeah. But again, you're paying a lot of money, so you've got to be into that shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you?
Yeah.
You know, you don't just do it thinking, oh, I'll just try this before I go. Right? People would ring up. Mistress, will you piss on me? Oh God, Mistress, will you piss on me? Oh my God, bang! And I'm just doing all this because again, I want that experience. But then as the time went on, I thought, do you know, every time I say no to somebody you know, I'm just passing that money on to somebody who is willing to do it.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? I won't get my flaps out. I'll keep my knickers on. I can piss on somebody.
Yeah.
No probs.
All right.
Sometimes I go a bit pee shy, but normally it works. The shitting thing, I'm like, no. I don't want somebody that close to my bumhole anyway, unless it was Tom, obviously. And B, I can't shit on demand.
Right.
I just can't. I don't know about you, but I can't.
Not on demand. I mean, I'd have to
and you've got to kind of, you know, if they book that time slot there.
Yeah, you've got to be prepped.
Yeah. So I thought, do you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start offering it as a service, and me poo in the morning, I'll put it in a little tub and I'll sell it.
This is it. This is what he was going to ask you.
No, it gets worse.
This is what he was going to ask you.
We're going on to some sort of different type of excrement shortly, but yeah. So I thought, do you know what? There's people want it, and I see it all over the internet.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, you know what? I'm gonna. Yeah, I offer scat, as it's called, or hard sports.
Yeah.
But not direct. So people are like, okay, well, yeah. So, will you save me some from your morning session, Mistress? Yeah. No, I don't mind sculpting me on shit, 'cause it's my shit.
Yeah.
It don't bother me.
Right.
But so they will buy it, and it goes over to France, America, all over England. Little tubs. Started off doing it 20 quid. Now it can go up to like 100 odd quid for a little bit. Of but when you send it, they go, oh, Mistress, will you give me instructions as to what to do with that? So, I mean, over the years, I've kind of run out of things. I'm like, oh, put it in your socks and wear them for work, or rub it on your face on the latest moisturiser, or spread it on toast.
No.
Yes.
Spread it on toast.
Things up.
No, I do, yeah. But let me tell you this, because I'm going to be doing a book at some point, right? And Charlie's helping me do it.
Yeah.
I can, like the 50 Shades shit, I can write, oh my God, yeah, I like, you know, I make people spread my shit on toast and eat it. And people will be like, yeah, of course she does, love. But I'm like, right, so I want a picture of that. I want a picture of you doing that task. So I've got archives of horrendous shit that I just make your freaking toenails cut, because it's all proof. So when I write my book and I go, oh God, this dude in France actually spread my shit. Yeah, there'll be a picture next to it. But I want people to be shocked and appalled and howling, and I think it's great to get that response.
And can they be recognised in the picture?
No,
then?
well, so any pictures that I take, I always say, do you want your face shown? If they say yeah, then they can be in it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if not, it'll all be pixelated
Yeah.
to protect their identity, like any tattoos, birthmarks, all do you know what I mean? All out.
Yeah.
But this is what I need to tell you. When you said about where do you think this sort of thing comes from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
So
know
we'll talk
this.
about the shit thing.
Because can I just preface this?
This is
So
absolute madness.
when I've been telling people, I say, right, so we've got a dominatrix, on the show next week, and Stan keeps telling us that he's got this myth about how she's like it's in a Tupperware dish, and then people buy it off her, and everybody is just like, what did he do with it? Why did he want to buy it?
Now you know.
Now we know.
It can be a whole array of things.
But what causes it, do you think?
I don't know. I think I'm assuming it's the ultimate in humiliation. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I said there's a big thing for, and you'll have seen it, maybe a woman on a man's chest. It's a big thing. And I think it's just been totally humiliated to the point of that's the worst thing you could do to somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like I say, I can't do it direct, and I don't want anybody up there anyway. So I chose just to scoop me on up and give him it. But let me tell you the story. So I have a guy who comes from Grimsby, and his thing is to be force-fed dog shit. Yes, dog shit. Now I don't even have a dog. I've got to go to my friends around the corner and shovel their dog shit up. Right? So he comes, right, and I've got little Bell's nuggets in my hand, and I force-feed him dog shit, right? Now, I get him to sign a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Again, it's all health and safety, risk assessed, but he signs a disclaimer before the session to say, listen, if I go home and I die, it's not really her fault. If I go home and my fucking wife leaves me, it's not my... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, right, yeah. So you're asking to have this procedure done to you. And people are like, you're a weirdo, why would you even mess about with that? Why do you mess about with shit? And I'm like, I'm not a weirdo. I'm making money.
Yeah.
I'm not eating dog shit.
No.
I'm not eating my own shit. I won't even eat some hardy shit, to be fair. I mean, I'll draw the line
So
at
there's
that.
a line.
There is
There's
a
a
line
limit.
with some shit, yes. And lick his bumhole, but that's about it.
Right,
yes.
right.
But I wouldn't eat his shit. But, so I'm feeding him this dog shit, and he loves it, and he just goes away, and that's his thing. That is, but I don't know where that would ever come from, where one day you think, I wonder what that dog shit tastes like. Where does that come from?
So you say force feeded.
Yeah.
So is he kind of
puts
not wanting to eat
It puts up a little bit of a struggle, but he likes it. And I mean, I'm like...
And where you sat, what's going on?
He's sat in my little dungeon, in my little prison cell, and he's just munching on.
And does he look like he's enjoying it, or is it like, Mistress, please?
I think, there's a very, little bit of... but he likes it. He does like it.
Can't get nowhere near it.
Emergency words to stop.
Yeah, I was going to ask
I
you.
don't use safe
don't
words.
have a safe word?
No, only because I think that's real sort of 80s for me. And if we're going into a session and someone's using these strawberry or banana, they're stopping me doing what I want to do, so I'm always in charge. Are you with me? So what I do is, we have an email consultation first, right? Then we have a phone consultation, and then when they get there, they sit down, and we have another consultation. So I make sure I know exactly what. So as a former teacher, that's just a lesson plan to me. It's all planned out. I know exactly how long each bit's going to take, what I'm going to do. I go through all the health stuff with them. If they've got any health issues, any allergies, do the disclaimer, blah, 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 blah. So then I know what they want and I know what they don't want. So I stick to my lesson plan.
And then it's all cool.
Exactly. There's never anything... very, very rarely somebody will come in and go, do you know what? Just do whatever the you want to do to me. Knock me out, fucking stamp on my weed. Very, very few. So that's fine. So I don't need a safe word for that because they've given me the go-ahead just to do whatever, you know. But ultimately, I know it sounds like real, I'm in charge and all that. I can't go over the top because they're my customers and I've got a duty of care. And if I do something really horrendous or do something that they've not asked for, I'll never see them again.
So do you never come, like, you've had a bad day, you're stressed out, do you ever think he's going to get it today?
No, I wouldn't. I'd never take it out on anybody because that's unfair. I could get an husband for that, couldn't I? Do you know what I mean? But no, not. You've got to be real professional. You know.
And do you ever get women coming?
I won't see women. I've been asked, but I won't see them.
But you won't do it personally?
Just by choice, because again, I want to empower birds, me. I want to, you know. I do a lot of free mentoring for doms new to the game, male doms, female doms. I'll do it all for now. I'll set them up. I'll do the profiles on things. I'll put them on my website, but I will not a bed.
Yeah.
It's just not something I could ever do naturally.
Yeah.
I get asked, especially after the 50 Shades thing. Oh, no, it's not my kind of party. I've only ever seen one couple, and it was after 50 Shades, and the guy said, oh, my wife wants to learn how to dominate me, sort of thing.
Right.
I said, brilliant then. I said, I won't do anything to her.
Yeah.
Well, by the end of it, she's stubbing fags out on his bell end, and she's strangling him, and the poor kid limped out, and I thought, oof, created a monster there. But again, that's like a bit of role play stuff, innit? But she went to, I bet she thought, right, you're going to get it, sunshine.
Fucking hell.
And mental on him.
Fags on his bell end.
That is.
Have you ever done anything where you've been doing your thing and something's happened and you thought, I need to ring an ambulance now?
No,
Or,
I haven't.
This is an emergency.
I haven't, but the only one cock-up I've ever made is, and it was involving poppers, you know, the mild ones, not the amyl nitrate.
Yeah.
And some guys like mummification, so they're literally mummified in latex and sensory deprivation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the guy was all done up like a pork joint, and he had this like rubber mask on, and all he had was like 2 little nose holes there. And he's just like being restricted. He kind of likes that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
being quite helpless. And he wanted the poppers every now and again. And I kind of tipped it up too much on his nose, and it actually went into his mask, because all he had was these 2 little holes, and it went into, and it filled up his mask, and he was trying to breathe, and all he had was these 2 little nose, and I shit myself, because I thought, I'm having my first corpse. What do I do? Like,
Yeah.
I'm insured anyway, but it's just like, oh, I'll never work in Hull again. Like, fuck, I'll have to go work in fucking Vegas somewhere on top of Machu Picchu or something. So I ripped this latex mask off. He was shitting himself. I was shitting myself. He went to the toilet. I've never seen him again, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he just went, oh yeah, that didn't go to plan, did it? And I was like, I'm ever so sorry. But it's signed his disclaimer anyway, so yeah. So, but I haven't seen him again. I don't know whether he's dead or whether he just has found somebody else who didn't like try and drown him. And
Yeah. Did he give you a 1-star rating then?
He didn't leave any reviews, because the only place I can get reviews is on a site called Adult Work.
Right.
So if people book you through that,
Yeah.
they can leave you a review. So I've got 100%. I've got
Right.
no negative, no neutral. I'm
Yeah.
I'm the beans. But yeah, he just books me through all Daily Mail, so there's nothing really they can do, which is quite good anyway.
Have you ever had any of your friends approach you for services? Or
Yes.
people you know
Yes, I
known
have.
for a long time?
Yeah, and I won't do that. I won't do that.
Yeah.
It's just crossing a line, really. As much as I could do with the money half the time, I'd rather bloody sell something than compromise them or myself. And plus, as well, if I know their partners, it just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
They're not coming for sex, but I just think it's still a bit. The partners don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you get like married men coming and stuff
Yes,
like that.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
And so are they saying, for example, my wife, my partner won't do it?
No, there ain't much dialect or dialogue around that, to be fair. I mean, there is, because I'm asking them questions. What do you want? Have you got any allergies? Do you have a pacemaker? But they don't really volunteer. I can see they might have a wedding ring on.
Yeah.
And again, because I'm not offering that giggly girly girlfriend experience where I'm making them a cup of tea afterwards and a bacon banjo, I don't ask that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But all I can assume is, if they've got a wedding ring on and they want those back doors smashed in and dry bummed, they probably just can't ask the partner. They dare, in case they freak out and go,
think,
oh my God, you're gay.
You're a weirdo.
And also as well, it's like, it might just feel a little bit better going to somebody else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if you had a partner who was an hairdresser, you might just want to go to a different hairdresser's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's always the same.
Yeah.
And of course, if you love that person as well,
Yeah.
you don't want them dry bumming you, because you love them. You just want some random stranger with a real big strap on.
So, but surely that's sexual for them then? Get dry bummed?
I don't know how, because a man would go like a Venus flytrap if anything went near it. So
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But,
Yeah.
but for guys, obviously, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Prostate's up there.
Yeah.
And it's very pleasurable, evidently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a fetish that a lot of guys are maybe ashamed of, because they think they're going to get called gay. And a lot of
Why
dudes are like,
try, though?
I'm gay. And no, they go, I'm not gay. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what you are. I'm not gay. I don't care.
Question.
Why dry bummed, do you think? Because surely
No, I don't dry bum. It's just a turn of phrase. I think I'm
Okay.
really hilarious saying dry bum.
Yeah.
I say I'm going to dry bum Jason Momoa.
Bad hair, man.
But yeah, I won't dry bum anybody because it just, I mean, and especially because like men's arses aren't stretchy and they're not meant for that, so there's got to be like heaps of lube. I get this stuff from America called Crisco, and it's like it's massive in America, and they use it for cooking. I've got to like literally like smear
Baste
that.
it.
Yeah,
Questions.
dry bum.
you said it a lot, and I was thinking, are these guys
You're
like
going to use
the
that
lube?
now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
he's
no,
thinking.
I wouldn't
isn't he?
dare do it. I mean, you wouldn't be able.
just
I wouldn't
wouldn't
be able to
work,
do
would
it.
it?
No,
No.
you wouldn't be able to do
It's a lot of
it.
physics.
It's not. Yeah. But fisting, the guy in Vegas, he likes to be double fisted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have gloves on?
Yeah.
I see you've got some kind of pointy nails.
Yeah, I've got to have the gloves on, and I mean as
and
well.
then do
Just
you try and keep your nails from?
well, the fisting. If ever you've seen like fisting hands and stuff in
Yeah,
the
'cause
sex
you go-
shops, it's like it's like your hand like that.
Do you take your nails off, right?
No, I don't take my nails off.
No?
No, I just have to be very careful. Obviously,
Julie, you don't take your nails
I
off.
can't take my nails off because they're
Yeah, but she's
acrylic.
wearing gloves, so like,
And
are you concerned about pain or like stuff getting in the nails?
Well, I mean that's no nails, mate. The stabbiness.
No.
It's scratched.
What if someone gets
No.
scratched?
It's like it's kind of doing it like that. I'm not
Yeah.
like going at it like Freddie.
Right.
And going back to the like the thing, when you're having any sort of anal play, that's an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
You know, I say to them before you come and you want anything poking up there, you douche. You send a really good internal cleaning. I don't want to see any. But it happens, and to be fair, it doesn't bother me. They're mortified. But
Yeah.
if you're going to mess about with someone's arsehole,
Yeah.
you're going to get shit.
You're gonna get
and
shit
it
on
don't
you.
bother me because I use condoms on the toys. I'm all, PP'd up. So,
Yeah.
that don't bother me. But they're more gutted, So, yeah, no, that doesn't hurt.
No, you do look gentle the way you were going like that. I just thought you'd be like keep jabbing at it and
smash
that.
it.
Get your bollocks here now. Get on the floor.
It's dry.
Yeah. When
She'd say
fisting,
dry
I've always thought fisting was actually that, and you just
To be
That's
honest, though,
punching someone in the arsehole.
yeah,
Oh.
that's
That's
ass punching.
malice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of the experienced guys with anal play, you can fist like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got hands like a man, but you can fist like that because they can get that stretched.
Can they?
Yeah. You're kind of used to it.
And the
but
poppers, does that sort of relax you as
yes,
well?
yeah, because again, that's a lot of people sniff them, but that's what they are there for. They're a sort of a muscle relaxant, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't use it in that respect because I don't want to be a part of that because they stink. I
Yeah,
hate them.
do they?
But if they want to sniff them, then that's fine. But you're meant to. Shut all your doors and your windows, take the lid off and just let it slowly evaporate. I don't want to be in that environment,
Because that would cause you to,
It's just, well, I'll
So-
probably hit myself, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably shart.
which would kill the whole effect, wouldn't it? Really? Like,
Yeah.
1 minute, love.
Yeah.
That's what I think's funny. Like, because I live on Dock, yeah, and like I remember before you were driving past, and like for people that don't know, on the side of your car it says Mistress Dita.
Car,
Like,
backside, all over, everywhere, yeah.
and she's just driving past in
Real
this car,
incognito.
the dominatrix like car, yeah. She's like slows down. Oh, hiya, love, you all right? It's like, yeah, you all right, Julie? Yeah, love, see you later. And just like drives off. She,
Like a little nanny.
like a little nanny, yeah. So is the dungeon in your house?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not because it's a dungeon. I picture it being.
Yes.
It's not below, is it?
No.
It's just a room in your house.
What I thought of before I kind of launched into it properly, I thought, right, rather than me looking at renting somewhere,
Yeah.
I've got to get the permission for that, and it's got to be police, I've got to be manned, it's an extra a financial outlay every month.
Yeah.
I thought, and plus, what if it doesn't like work out? What if I'm shit at this job?
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll just convert a room in my house into, and I've done it into a makeshift prison cell. So there's a prison door,
Yeah.
bars on the windows, and it's like a cell, hence a Majesty's pleasure, you say, working in the prison. And I thought, well, if it takes off, I'll probably go elsewhere. But then as I started doing it, there's loads of time wasters in this game. And it ain't just for me, it's for escorts as well. But they'll be like, oh, can I make a booking? Yeah, okay, yeah. An hour, yeah, but okay, well, call me when you get it. And then I've took an hour, I've got a shoe on and I've got myself in my latex and I'm sat sweating.
Yeah.
They don't bleed and turn up.
Right.
And I realised over the time, if everyone did that, I got ready, I went to the place where I'd waste so much of my time.
Yeah.
So I thought, I've got no overheads other than my house, so I'll keep it. So I said, I registered with Hull City Council and the police, obviously, just to kind of let them know what was going on. So it's all above board, but because people on, not yourselves, but people on Vicky Dock are pale clutchers, the stand at the window just needed a really good poke. Do you know what I mean? And they're just too busy looking at what I might be doing, which is literally nothing. I don't even have a life. So they're constantly ringing Hull City Council. Oh my God, there's people coming and going. Yeah, they're dropping donations off for the homeless, you crank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm like, yes, and she's running a brothel. I'm like, so yeah, I've had the old bill down, I've had Hull City Council, and I've got my permit, but they have to respond to these anonymous complaints. They won't tell me who they are, you know, it'd be some little Norris, curtain twitching, but they have to respond.
Yeah.
So these guys are in my house more than I am, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, sorry Jules, but we've got, and I'm like, oh, come in, you know, they'll have a look around, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know, I empower women, I wouldn't want to exploit them, you know? So yeah, I've been there nearly 20 years. Everybody kind of knows what I do, but because there's a lot of footfall on Vicky Dock, people come and go, there's always new people coming in, so there's generally new shit coming to my door, you know.
Yeah. And is it soundproof, the dungeon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for the scary shit that goes on, because I'm a semi, and most of the time the house next to me is rented out.
Right.
So it's great, we're making much noise as they want. But I have a lot of young families move next door and little kiddies, and so I've got to be really, really discreet. So there's never been any complaints for noise or anything like that. It's just people assuming there might be weird shit going on.
So how long do you see yourself in this industry for?
Well, as a dom, you can go on forever because you're expected to be mature. You know, I've got like young dom friends who are new to the game. They don't get anything because men will see them as inexperienced.
Right.
So, like the documentary that I was in for Channel 5, well, I said it was the latest one was on last week.
Yeah.
And my dom friend's on it. And I think she's the oldest dom in England, at 60, 70 or something. But she looks fucking great.
Yeah.
But you can go on forever as a dom. As an escort, you have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Because not many lads or men want to have sex with a gilf unless it's a fetish.
Yeah.
They want the young fit birds, you know, stereotypical blonde, lovely, you know, things that are pleasing to the eye. So a lot of them have to lie about their age, whereas I could go forever. I don't
do you think
want
you would?
No.
What do you want to do?
I want to be an astronaut next.
Really?
No, not really, but I ain't done it, so but I've got to do some outrageous. So I'll think about it. I'm thinking of running for governor of California. Now Arnold Schwarzenegger's gone.
It's a good idea.
That'd be ace, that, wouldn't it? They'd have to have an interpreter in there, wouldn't they, for the whole accent?
But what did she just say?
Yeah.
I think she wants to reform the government. Yeah, well, should we reform government, love, and sort that out?
Yeah, love.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something, whatever that is.
So homeless then.
Yeah.
So now we're leaving the world of
Piss and
of
piss.
shit and piss on toast, 450 quid an hour, into the world of probably unexpected world of homelessness. So you're big campaigner of basically, to boil it down, let's look after homeless people, they need it. And I see you a lot on Facebook getting into like spats with people, like you said on Doc, will say stuff like, oh, there's a tramp in the bushes on the park, like be careful or whatever. And then you'll go out and you'll try and sort them out and help them, and then you'll get online and be like, why call them tramps? Like, obviously, if they have to live in a park in a tent, then things aren't really going well for them.
Yeah, but what those nuggets do is, what they'll see somebody in need on Vicky Dock, take a picture, right, step over them, go home, put it on internet. Oh my God, why the fuck did you just not ask them if they was all right? Ring them an ambulance, message me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just want to just make a big deal of it, but don't do jack shit, and I give a shit. So, I'd be the first one in there. But yeah, you don't have to do it. People don't have to give a shit. Yeah. But then it makes up for the ones that do, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
We all need people in our corner,
And so have you always had that sort of mentality then?
Yeah, I've always given a shit. because I think that comes from I'm the oldest out of 9, and I helped bring Marlo up, you see. So I've always got this protective thing, and do you know what I mean? When I was in jails and that's why I didn't go down very well, because I was always on the side of the con.
Yeah.
Because you know I'm always in somebody's corner, the underdog, and so I've always kind of been like that. So it comes natural anyway. Yeah. Not that you'd think that, but it's just an innate thing.
And
I used to work with your Phil, and he always used to say,
Phil,
my big sister looked after me, but I didn't realise who you was.
Yeah, so I brought them all up. So that's why I don't have children, because I realise how bleeding hard it is.
Yeah.
B, I don't want anything coming out my vagina. And C, I think I'm better used looking after all my old banes. You know, that's what I call them, they're all my banes. Even though they're about 40 or 50, I'm like, see you later, bane.
And how long have you had all these old banes then? How long would you say you've been doing this for?
Years. And because I'm all born and bred, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've done the jails, I've done teaching, I've been in goal, I've done all, and I had the behavioural young uns, you see. So I've known a lot of generations growing up.
Right.
So they're my kind of people,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I say I just know a lot of people, and I've been doing it for ages, and it's from the heart, you know.
And so what sort of stuff are you doing then, like, because is it mostly just going out and helping them on your own, or are you involved in...
Yeah, I do, well, I'm a one-man warrior, only because I can't work with anybody else.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to, I want to work for myself, because I'm freaking great, like I said. Yeah.
Boss mode,
So,
Dom.
and I'm good at my job, or whatever I do, I'm good at it. So I'm self-funded, been doing it for ages, my car's full all year round, any given time. I do it because I give a shit, like I said, but I want to raise awareness, because people don't want it rammed down the throat, but I won't have anyone say out bad about them, because they don't know why they've got there, you know. They just call them dirty baghead, dirty smackheads. And I go, do you know when you're 5 and you're at school and your teacher goes, what do you want to be? I want to be a copper and I want to be a fireman. Oh, do you know what I want to be? Right, I want to be homeless when I'm young, and I lose all my teeth and get on smack and then die at an early age. No one ever in the history of never has ever said that.
Yeah.
They find themselves in it, and it could happen to any of us, and you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I always champion them, and I think, you know, they get bad press. Some of them do have my pants down. I don't give a shit, you know. It's not personal. I know a lot of them that are homeless. Some people pretend to be and they're not, but I'll still help them. Because they're on the streets and they've got a shit life.
And why they pretend, even if you're pretending to be, it can't be that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I know, but again, like I said, not everybody has to give a shit. That's fine. I won't force it down anyone's throat. But the good thing about social media is there's that many people on it now that you can reach loads of people. So my car's full, but if there's somebody goes, oh, you want to go a size 3 in a trainer, and I'm like, oh, I've got loads of nines. I'll go on Facebook, has anybody got a bang? It's on my doorstep.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about it. I mean, I get mad with the old folk because sometimes they're really hard people, but if you want some boosh, it's like I literally could say, right, get in tonight. Right, folks, I need a 4,000-year-old mummy. They'd be one on my doorstep.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere would get it, you know? And that's what I'm like proper grateful of, and I'm so like, I'm just privileged to even, you know, be a part of this little network. And the more people that see me doing it, sitting on the streets in all weathers with my flip-flops and my t-shirt, they're like, I'll do that, and can I give you all this? And yeah. So again, it kind of like inspires people a bit, I think, you know, to see people actually doing it.
Yeah. Royal Hotel.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that? So, you helped to put how many homeless people?
30 as an average, and I was thinking that might be a bit over ambitious, but while I've been doing my rounds, I must have 20 names already.
Yeah.
You know, so I might need more, but yeah, average about 30, because I try and look at sort of like targets of what we had last year.
And so this is a Christmas thing?
Yeah. And
Right.
I know people slag it off because they're like, how is that solving the long term? It isn't. But you know what? When I worked in prisons, the population would rise. And I used to say to them, why the frick do you want to be in here for Christmas, you daft shit? Do you know why, Joe? Because we get fed, we've got a bed, it's warm, our mates are in there, we've got telly. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's a really bad, I've obviously a big family, it's great for me, but it's a shit time for a real lot of people.
Yeah.
So I started doing it for homeless initially, and then I thought, but then there's people on their own. People that are housebound, people that are just skinting and in crisis. So it's basically now for anybody who just needs a bath and a bed, and to wake up on Christmas morning knowing they've got a present coming and they've got some scran,
Yeah.
and they're not in a doorway getting shit on or pissed on or jumped on.
So you put them in on Christmas Eve then?
Yeah, so Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Right.
And then they have to leave Boxing Day, which is gutting, but yeah, it's...
How's that funded?
Well, through me, and Carl added, well, the reason why we got 30, because Carl said, can I come in with your project?
Yeah.
I'll put money in as well and we'll get more. That's why we ended up with 30. So yeah, so it's me and Carl. People offer money. I don't take donations. I only have like tent sleeping bags, but it's my money. And my mum passed away in September, and she put in a thing. Everyone at the collection don't want flowers. Put money in for our Julie because it'll help her do the homeless.
Yeah.
So that's where our Arlene's gone. Yeah. So, yeah.
And so how much has that come up to then?
It's come up to about a grand.
To put 30 people up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we've got
all
like
right, to be
we've got
fair.
a corporate deal. We've got a corporate deal.
Okay. So you put them in Royal Hotel.
Yes.
But
and they were fine about it, and they confirmed it and took the payment. And then a couple of days later, they were all and all of a sudden they don't want to have our lot in, and they knew what it was for our client group.
Have they done it before, or
no?
Where'd you put them last time?
At our base.
Right.
But I've put people up in Station Hotel before. I've just done it on Booking.com.
Yeah,
the odd one or two,
and
they've gone in, and I'll say to them, if you get any shit off the staff, let me know, and I'll come, and and they've managed just to slip in. But I think it's because it's a big amount. Yeah. And there's been shit on the old Daily Mail, like I was saying, I wouldn't want to share a floor with the smackheads and a fucking so that's the sort of shit that you're gonna get.
And then the hotel basically said, right, we've changed our mind.
Yeah.
Here's your money back.
Yeah, and Carl still hasn't got the money back, and he's got my money as well. They haven't given it back yet. They will. It probably just takes time.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that for a minute. But they're not giving a statement or anything. They're not willing to comment on it, which. If you want to do that wrong, you get up there, don't you?
Yeah, stand up for yourself. That's what you were saying, right? Do you want to repeat what you said earlier about...
Oh, because it could have been real good publicity for them. This amazing thing that they're doing. And you're bringing money to them as well. Yeah. Which is daft for them to throw away.
It's like you said, who wants to book in there? Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Yeah. It's a grand worth of business, Yeah. And honest to God, yes, some of them are nuggets. I'm the biggest nugget I friggin' know. But some of them, my lot, are the loveliest people ever. Yeah. And I'll break bread with them all day, every day, over people in our power positions. I would. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They're my kind of people. Yeah. And I'd be a character reference for them. So not everyone's going to be a total nick the telly, trash the place. They're not.
Yeah. So do you at all feel like the hotel has any ground? Or a leg to stand on? Do you appreciate their standpoint in any way?
No, I don't know, because they shouldn't have took the booking in the first place. Yeah. And what I don't get is that it's okay to discriminate against people on the streets and people in crisis. Yeah. But they wouldn't dare do it about race and creed and disabilities.
Sexuality.
Exactly. They would not dare. They would not dare
so does that say something about our society then? That almost homeless people are in this like category where it's like the fair play almost.
Well, it's kind of like easy targets out there. The classed as scum. But like I said, if anybody just took the time to sit and listen to their stories, you'd just be breaking your heart, because pretty much 99% of them have all got a real similar story, and it's shit, and it's harrowing, and you think there's no wonder you're where you are, because I'd have stopped myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I say, have your pants down, because some of them I'll see after, and I know they're not homeless, but so what? Yeah. So what, they've got a fucking tent. So what, I'll give them 10 quid. It's so what? The big scheme of things, it's just the humans, aren't they?
Yeah. Do you know what I think's really cool is when you look at it sort of symbolically. So you're like some sort of like mad
psycho balls.
No, what's he called? Robin Hood, right? Because you're literally right. You've got these like bigwigs that come to you and give you their money to bash up. Yeah, and then you're going up homeless people.
But that's what I tell people. You know what I mean? I say that. I said,
it's mad, isn't it?
Where do you think the money comes from for me to do this?
You take it off them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Once I've paid all my bills and everything, it goes on that. Because some are people.
What a beautiful cycle.
No, but do you know, one day though, that could be me, and the lads and the lasses, and bearing in mind there's loads more lasses now than there ever was, and that is really scary. Because I've started to carry like sanitary stuff and condoms and all, you know, stuff that you kind of don't even really think.
Sure.
But they're like, oh, Jules, you can't, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I said, it's now, it's literally now, and one day when I'm sat there, do not bring me a Greggs. I want some Frosty Jacks. You know what I mean? Just remember this. When, you know, when the cycle goes round and you're here and I'm down there, get me some fucking White Lightning. Get me special brew. Don't bring me.
Take the edge off.
Yeah, I don't want a sausage roll. Do you know what I mean? I know what I would need, so I wouldn't ever knock anybody. I mean, the spice thing, people proper slate it, but it breaks my heart because you see them and you know they've got a really sort of short life expectancy. Once they get on that shit, they ain't long for this world.
Really?
And 5 this year of mine have gone, 5 have died.
On spice?
Yeah.
Is it that bad? Yeah.
Spice, not all spice, but 5 of my little lot that I've been seen after have died. Drink, drugs and spice.
Yeah.
Do you know the number of homeless people in Hull?
Well, apparently, according to Hull City Council, it's about 7.
Yeah,
but obviously they're all sat smoking crack somewhere, aren't they? In the posh suits and in, you know, in the posh office, and they haven't got a clue. But it's not 7. You just know it's not 7 because I've got town. There's a lot of congregating there, but I've got Prinny Ave, Yulland Ave, Ezel Road, Asda Ezel Road, friggin' Bulfrey Road, all over, literally all over.
And are you just driving around, just keeping an eye on them and just checking them out?
And then again, like thanks to the Facebook thing, a lot of people will private message me, Jules, I've seen a kid outside blah. He said, can you get him a blah? You know what I mean? So that's how it works. It's great. It's absolutely is. It's proper. All come together and everybody seems to want to give a shit and want to do their bit. And people now have said, right, rather than take all my like clothes and blankets to Chazza shop, I'll give it to you because you always show me where it's gone. You know, and they'll see a young lass wearing their coat and they just think I'm doing my bit. Yeah.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Right. So for people that don't know who Charles Bronson is, Charles Salvador now. Does he mind being called Charles Bronson still?
He does a bit because the reason why he changed his name was to try, when he wanted to try and get out, he thought, oh, Bronson's like a thug, most notorious prisoner in the world, So he changed it to his artist name because he does it to try and let people know, look, I'm not that person anymore. I've evolved. I'm a peaceful man now. He still likes to rumble, so I don't think he's all that
Does
peaceful.
he?
Yeah, he does, even at 65. But probably a lot of his behaviour is a byproduct of how he's been treated.
In prison?
Yeah, because, I mean, he's had the beatings, don't get me wrong, because back in the day you could, and Bronson would show that, you know, and that's how it worked. They got regular beatings, you had to slop out, that's what it was. But kind of keeping him in solitary, stopping his mail, stopping visits, all them over the years, it's like mind games, isn't it? I think it's going to f*** you up a little bit. But
so you felt like it was an institutional punishment? Or revenge, right?
I think it's, now because he didn't want to get out before because he loved it. Because he said, Jules, I was somebody in there. I fucking ruled it. I was on the fucking roof. I was shitting up it. I loved it. It was my hotel.
Yeah.
But as he's got older, he's like, oh, do you know what? I want to get out now. And they've gone, oh dear. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's now they're holding all the cards. He has a parole every 2 years, of which he's met everything on it. But they're like, no, we still don't think that you're ready. You know?
Do you think they'll let him out?
Never.
No.
I would never tell him that. But that kid's never getting out.
Really? You think he'll die in there?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think that?
They won't let him out.
Because you obviously know from sort of working there how things go down.
Well,
from that side.
He's still a Cat A prisoner. So you've got 4 types of jail. You've got your Cat A, which is your west of the west.
Yeah.
B, C, and D. And Cat D is like a college.
Right.
You know, they get to go home on a weekend to in jail. It's like mad. So that's a total difference.
Yeah.
When you go in the prison system, whatever level you go at, you generally progress on to lower category. Get to you, and then you can. Yeah. He's been a Cat A prisoner all his 40 odd years. Now they should have at some point reduced him his category, you know.
Yeah.
To try and get him mingling in with people, getting him back to people and society. But if you think about it, if he's been in Nick 40 odd years, it was took from Luton 40 odd years ago. If they just all of a sudden let him out, plopped him back in Luton now, his head would just fucking explode because they didn't have the mobiles. They want the traffic on the road. They want all the different sort of nationalities. They want the how was it? He won't be able to cope because he's had no rehabilitation in dealing with people and crowd. He's allowed out, like I said, an hour a day, and that's alone in a yard for exercise. So the only kind of interaction he's got is if he'll ring up me or he'll ring people or the screws.
So all right. So would you are you a screw? Was you a screw?
No.
Is that
no? They're called screw bastards, you say. So I want a screw. I was nice.
right?
Yeah, I didn't. Bearing in mind, I do discipline now, but I didn't discipline. Mine was.
And so how did you meet him?
Well,
obviously it was when he was in Hull.
Well, he was in Hull before I got there, but I met him in a different jail because he got took out, because I've worked in all the different jails, you see, but he got took out of Hull and he's never been allowed to go back when he took the art teacher hostage. That's in the film.
That's in the film,
It's pretty fucking horrific.
Have you guys seen the film?
Yeah.
It was horrible. Now, Charlie's never killed anybody, he's never fiddled, he's never raped nanas, he hasn't done any of that. And he's never hurt anybody, he's just scared the shit out of them. And he's a big kid, and he's very eccentric and a little bit bizarre, and he's very unpredictable. So if he got older, you wouldn't know what he was going to do. Do you know what I mean? You yourself. And
of course.
Phil Danielson, he was very fragile anyway, and very sort of delicate, and it proper fucked him up because he kept him for 2 days. It didn't hurt him, it just scared him, you know. And it kept him for 2 days, then he released him, and he went back to his partner. He went back to his boyfriend, did the art teacher, but he was never the same again. And then a couple of years down the line, his boyfriend killed himself because he just couldn't cope with the change and the effect that Charlie had on him. He never was the same again. You see, so like when you think Charlie, you don't know, do you, what the outcome's going to be of something mad like that? Yeah. And bearing in mind, if I got life, I'd be a female Charlie. I'd fucking grow tash. I'd be shitting up all of it. And because what have you got to lose? Nothing, have you? If you weren't ever going out, it's like,
you might as well
I'd have to be the best I could possibly be in that jail, the most famous. I get all that totally. Yeah. But yeah, it says he's never actually hurt anybody. He's just scared them, and he said because his unpredictability as well. So after that, all of the artwork was destroyed. He was never allowed to come back to Hull. So he's been in Wakefield for a real lot of years, where I have been. But now he's in Frankland, because what they do is to piss you off, and it's in the movie. It's called ghosting. When you get really settled in a jail, and they think, right, they'll just don't tell you. They just say, right, get in the van. They ship you off to a different jail, and you've got to start again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's gonna be, you'd be a bit like, wouldn't you?
And what do you think this is like? People at work there that are just with him like. Yeah. On a personal level.
Yeah,
because that's sort of what happens in the film, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a really bad rep. Now, he's a rum lad, you know, he's been a shit, don't get me wrong, he ain't in jail for no reason at all. But I do honestly, a piece of people like you won't fucking have him next door to you. I'm not having him in my fucking house. I'd live with him. He says when he gets out, he said, I'm going to get a real big chair in your dungeon, Jules, and I'm going to sit there with a glass of Chianti, and I'm going to watch you whip people. I went, well, if they're not scared coming anywhere seeing me, I'm never going to fucking see them again if you're sat there.
Could you imagine that?
He's like, fucking hell, Jules, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. I'll lose all my customers.
That'd be shit scary, man.
I bet if you put
scary.
There would be people who'd be into that.
Oh, yeah, probably. He's done loads of like artwork, you know, for my dungeon, but it's all personalised.
I've seen it all over the bars and that.
It's great, honestly. He's a fucking legend. And I admire him because he's got big balls, because he's the only one I know in the entire prison system of ever that's not been broken. He's still doing that. And he's so astute, and he's got a wicked sense of humour, and he's just hilarious. And I say he's real eccentric, and I bounce off that because I am. He's just sound. He's absolutely sound. And the stuff he's done for me and the stuff he's done for charity, and he's really respectful to women, you know. He's kind of like the kids I used to teach in Gould, 14. If it was a young lad, they'd just want to fight with every fucking fella in the school. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Every fella in a soul. It's this thing, and he's like that with fellas in authority.
He just wants to have a fight.
Yeah, so that comes from somewhere, doesn't it, you know? But like his brother Mark, total fucking opposite. You won't even know they're brothers. Do you know what I mean? Like, totally different. He's in the Navy, real well-to-do, like, he'd never been involved with the law. So it's mad, innit, how he could
Bronson,
just go.
Yeah. And so you're in his memoirs, right?
I am, I'm in his book,
and so you've got a copy, I assume?
Yeah.
Signed?
Yeah, I have.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, and I got invited to the wedding, told you, didn't I?
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only went because Tom Hardy got an invite, and I'm like, get me there.
So, was Tom Hardy there?
No.
He didn't come.
No, do you know why? He was in America filming. I don't know what his latest film was, but he was filming that. But he did a video call live.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Wow.
How much influence did Charles Salvador have on the film then? The Bronson film?
pretty much all of it, to be fair.
Because he chose
He chose
chose
Tom
Tom
out
Hardy.
of the
Tom
other
Hardy.
two. Yeah, he chose Tom out of Ray Winston and Jason Statham. Because they were already somebody, and he said, I just saw this little scrat and thought, I bet you can't in 6 months can get it. And he obviously, like, he does works out like he did when Bane and Warrior and all that.
Yeah.
Said he come back and he said it was like fucking looking in the mirror a few years before, you know.
But the one thing he couldn't do was
grow his tash. Yeah, bless Tom. Yeah, he couldn't grow that tash. I mean, he got the physique and he got the walk and the attitude and the voice, but he just couldn't do the famous thick stash. Right. So Charlie, for the first time in a real, like, forever, cut it off. The prison were quite good at the time. They allowed him to, like, post it out, and then the makeup team at the other end did it all. If you look at it, when you see it again, it's like, that's not, you can tell it's not a real tash. It is kind of a bit bitty, but yeah, you can see it. And then
how mad is that? I've been saying this for a while, and these all disagree with me, right? Now, I heard on the radio, and I feel like, well, exactly, because it's dead.
Oh, shit.
And to me, it makes sense, right? I've got a feeling you'll disagree with me.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Please do.
Is tinsel dead?
You know tinsel for your Christmas tree?
Yeah.
She obviously knows what tinsel is.
No, because the thing is, I'm from the 70s, so me and Tinsel are really good mates.
That's when tinsel...
Tinsel was the bomb.
Found
Paper
its shine.
chains, it was, yeah. And I probably got to in my loft somewhere.
But like, have you got a Christmas tree?
Yeah, but I keep it up all year round because I'm a bit weird.
Do you?
So, yeah, just one on the
Decorated as well?
Yeah, I keep it up all year round because I'm Mrs. Christmas.
Any tinsel on it?
No, they're in, but
why not?
Because
why not, Julie?
Because it might
dead.
not be health and safety approved now. Do you remember?
That's not why.
It's 1970s.
That's not why, mate. It's because it's dead.
Fire in the 70s. No,
True.
I'm good mates with
She's
it.
pro tinsel. How do you
I
feel
am
about
good
that?
mates with that.
I feel like someone who's pro tinsel but has no tinsel on their tree.
Do you know what I'm going to get some now and put it all over the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just trying to be nice to you.
got tinsel on that tree, even though 3 out of 4 of us think there should be tinsel on that.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
So
I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm pro tinsel, but I don't care if there's any on the tree or not. I'm not that pro tinsel.
Oh.
You're not pro tinsel at all.
I'm in the middle.
You're not pro
I'm not
tinsel
against.
at all.
I'm not against tinsel though. I'm tinsel neutral.
Yeah, you're just trying to be upper class on us now.
Oh, it's because he lives
No
on the
tinsel.
village. It's because he lives on the village, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, he's got a passport.
Gotta remember
To
you're in a-
get
'cause I
on
live
the
on the
village.
village.
Yeah, and he's had all his jabs and that, yeah. And he goes to the...
Yeah.
He's in the
He's
Victoria Dock
I'm their bit of exotic.
He's forgot about the estates.
You are.
Now he's living the high life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm their bit of chlamydia spreader. That's what I am. Oh, freaking hate me.
Did you know that today? Yeah. The Spice Girls released When Two Become One 22 years ago.
Never.
And it's a Christmas hit.
Never.
Do you know that song? Are you a fan of the Spice Girls?
No. I didn't like him the first time around, but I know the song. It's very Christmassy.
So what sort of music are you into then? Because I don't want to judge, and I can see you're wearing a Slayer jumper. I get a bit of a Mosher vibe off you. Is that right?
Rock.
I feel like you would hang out in Spiders. Is that
I haven't been
accurate?
to Sparta since about 1972. Because it isn't necessarily rocky, is it? It's
No.
a bit like gothy. I like rock.
Right.
I like old school rock. Get in a mosh pit. Iron Maiden, Metallica, Slayer,
Yeah.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Get me in there. Get me kicking heads in and shit like that.
Proper moshing.
Yeah,
Proper
I love
mosh out.
it. I love it, and I love
Yeah.
camping and beer for breakfast and
So what sort of...
pissing in a bucket.
Oh, Jesus.
So like Slayer is your faves then, or...
Yeah, I ain't really got a fave. I just like any old school rock, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I saw Def Leppard last week. They were great.
Is that the one with one arm?
Yeah,
Drummer with one
drummer,
arm?
yeah.
Yeah.
I just
They're from
I like
Yorkshire.
gigs. Yeah, chef.
Are they? Fair. So you're a big gig goer then?
Yes.
So talk to me
that's
about-
my thing.
What about the whole music scene?
Oh, I love it. They're homegrown, aren't they? They're my people.
Oh, any
Any favourites?
faves?
I
Don't worry.
don't know. I could
We know
possibly
that we're
think-
up there. So
Oh, you're the only ones there. Obviously, you're the only ones there, love.
I knew you'd say that.
The only
That's all
ones.
anyone says when they come on here. So
It's almost like they feel pressured into it.
I know.
I just want to put
I'm
a
in a
disclaimer
freaking
out.
blood,
We don't tell
blood
them
sugar
to say
sandwich.
that.
I can't say any other, can I?
even though we don't really fall into the
No, you don't.
Into
But do you
your
know what
realm.
you are? You're individual, aren't you?
yeah.
And you've got a really good fucking attitude and a great vibe, and you're just beautiful humans. That's what I say to people when. But
Well,
no, I'm not blowing smoke your arseholes. But when people were saying, "Oh my God, you had them all like up in the penthouse," and I bet there was fucking throwing tallies out the windows, and I went, "No, it wasn't Oasis up there. They were the fucking loveliest human beings."
was wiping up the sides down after ourselves.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, motherfuckers.
I went in and
put them in the dishwasher.
It was proper spotless. I was expecting fucking blood all over and sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm like, fucking cleaner than it was when housekeeping went in.
I know, we couldn't do that.
No, honestly. But everybody who came were extensions of you lot. Beautiful humans, lovely and grateful and happy and great and vibey.
Thank you, mate.
little baby bud and ace, absolutely ace.
And that's where you popped down, obviously, and handed us our. So a little behind this for the people watching is, so Julie had helped us to secure this apartment, as we'd said, as a prize. And on top of it, she was like, right, so I'm mates with Bronson, and I've got some prints, I'm going to auction them off, and whatever I make...
Are we going to tell them what it was for?
Yeah, it was for our trip to Gambia,
Yeah.
where we filmed our music video and our film that's coming out. So she auctioned off some prints. I think, was it about 150 that they went for collectively, something like that? So that was proper sweet. And then she said, oh, and I've got an original from Charles for the lads. Brought it down. Obviously, we got it out. I'm annoyed really because I got a bit of blue tack on it, and it's like.
Oh, don't worry.
I feel.
Do you know what you should do?
I feel like
though?
Charles might be into that.
Never let him have anything in his hands.
Yeah.
I said to you at the
damn it.
time, do you know what you should do? All of you should write to him. He'd absolutely love it.
Do you reckon?
He'd love it. Because obviously, what else has he got to kind of look forward to every day?
And do you reckon he'd write back?
Without a doubt. Well, I didn't think he'd write to me,
Yeah.
but he did, yeah. And
Shall
that was
we?
years
Yeah,
ago. Now
definitely.
it's like,
Should we do
oh,
that?
you ought
Yeah.
to do it. He'd absolutely.
We'll include the picture of it on our wall.
I was going to say,
Could be some
you
mad
can
blogging,
send
that.
pictures in. You can obviously write and stuff. You can't send magazines in it, but you can send photos, pictures,
Yeah.
and shit like that. So yeah, he'd love it.
CDs,
No,
T-shirts.
no,
You know, Bronson, mate, you poor sod.
I know. It's
It's
yeah.
real.
But yeah.
Well-
but definitely pictures. He'd love it because I said, you know, he's amazed that he appeals to women or young kids or
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
nephews and nieces fucking love him and he loves it. It's like, but I'm no man, like what?
Yeah. And he's a star, really.
He's a
isn't he?
legend, and
Yeah.
he doesn't, you know, he doesn't
Absolute star.
blow smoke. He doesn't. I don't think he realises how like massive he is out here.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, he's a legend. Eh?
And do you think like we would be intimidated in his presence?
No, I don't think he would. He's very warm. I mean,
Is he?
he's built like a brick shipyard,
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
hands are like pans. But he's got a real kind face, believe it or not. And he's very warm, and he's very tactile. You know.
And did you never feel like in
Ne-
danger or anything? No.
Never, no. I said he didn't have a beef with women anyways.
Yeah.
His old school craze type thing, you know, like you
Yeah,
be
yeah,
respectful to your mum and your women, your girlfriend.
That's the sort of vibe I get off him. Yeah, definitely.
Which is again, it's very like old school gentlemanly, but he's ever so nice. And I say it's just fellas he seems to want to rumble with in a position of power that are abusing him in that respect, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
I'd love it. Love it. You might even get a visiting order to go in and play for him.
Oh
Imagine
my
that.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine?
So the Dominatrix of Hull, we found out all the dirty ins and outs. We found out about the for sale thing that everyone wanted to know
Yeah.
about.
Believe it.
We found out all about
Urethra stretchers.
urethra stretchers, homeless outreach,
Oh.
people on Vicky Doc being curtain twitchers, being cunts, thank you. Charles Bronson and the mad tale of events that brought all that together. There's almost too much to express. I'm malfunctioning. All I want you to do is put your hands together for Julie Preston, Mistress Dita. Thanks so much for coming on. And obviously we always end with
Listen,
fist
thank
bumps
you.
all around.
I
So
am
much respect.
absolutely frigging honoured with a lot of you. You're brilliant.
Merry Christmas! Now get your balls out, I want to stamp on them.